Your Excellency, President Xi Jinping, Your Excellency, President Jacob Zuma, Your Excellency, President Dilma Rousseff, I thank our host, President Putin, for excellent arrangements for today's meeting and for his leadership of BRICS. Congratulations for hosting a very successful 7th BRICS Summit. Excellencies, we stand united in strongly condemning the dreadful acts of terrorism in Paris. We express our deepest sympathy and support to Russia for the loss of life in Sinai. Ankara and Beirut are also reminders for terror's growing spread and impact. The entire humanity must stand together as one against terrorism. The need for a united global effort to combat terrorism had never been more urgent. This must also be a priority for BRICS nations. There was a time when the logic of BRICS and its lasting capacity were being questioned. We have provided proof of the relevance and value of BRICS through our actions. And this has come at a time of huge global challenges. The new development bank, the currency reserve arrangements, strategy for BRICS economic cooperation, these are the clear evidence of our vision and our resolve. Together, we can also give shape to G20. India attaches the highest importance to BRICS. We are honored to assume the chairmanship of BRICS from 1st February 2016 and build on the great work done by other members. The theme of India's BRICS chairmanship will be build responsive, inclusive, and collective solutions, which in short will be BRICS. It aptly describes the ethos of our group. We are pleased that a BRICS partner, China, takes over the presidency of G20 in December 2015. We assure China of full support during its presidency. Thank you.
Спасибо большое за ваше выступление. Вступительное слово председатель Китайской Народной Республики господин Си Цзиньпинь.
So that was Prime Minister Modi making his remarks at that meeting of BRICS leaders just ahead of that G20 summit meet, urging that they come up with a united stand on issues that are confronting the world at the moment, particularly terrorism, expressing solidarity with what has happened in Paris with France, and saying that the need for humanity to come together to combat terrorism has never been more than now. He also elaborated on how BRICS has proved its relevance to the world. At one stage, which was being questioned, he's said that steps that have been taken by the BRICS leaders, particularly setting up of the new development bank and the steps that went along with that have proved the relevance. And he also said that India will be taking on the chair of the BRICS Union in 2016, and said that the theme will be build responsive, inclusive and collective solutions, which again in short is BRICS. And he said that's what aptly describes the ethos of this grouping. Amrit Pal is still on the phone line with us. Amrit, what do you make of these opening remarks? The Prime Minister fairly forthright as far as global challenges are concerned, particularly terrorism.
First, Gautam, let's speak about what the Prime Minister, spoke about building collective solutions and building responsive, inclusive, and collective solutions when it takes over the. Pretty clear that the Prime Minister sending a message that India attaches importance to BRICS, and we must take a collective stand, be it on financial issues. He also spoke about that the world and humanity must stand together and speak in one voice against terrorism. So essentially, the Prime Minister raising the issue of terror and saying on financial issues, the South needs to speak in one voice, and he says that we shall be continuing that when we assume the presidency of BRICS.
Right, and we can expect this to be reflected as far as other leaders are also concerned, because it is about putting a united foot together and really setting the agenda for that G20 meeting as well.
Gautam, could you please repeat your question?
Can we expect the other BRICS leaders to be on the same page as Prime Minister Modi where these big challenges are concerned?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, the very fact that from here on, China assumes the presidency of the G20 and shall be holding the next G20 summit, and the Prime Minister himself referred to that in his speech, the BRICS meeting. So he was essentially telling China that, look, we need to speak in one voice, and we hope that we expect that this sentiment is reflected when the other leaders of the BRICS nations speak. But there is a general sense of convergence that if the developing world's, because there's a convergence of interests in terms of the global economy and the reform of the global structure, economic structure. So the countries would speak in the same voice. The other BRICS countries would echo that sentiment.
Okay.
And as we know, even on terrorism, there are political costs of terrorism, yes, but there are economic costs of terrorism as well. And the developing world nobody understands them better than the developing world. So we expect the developing world to, and the other BRICS countries to speak, to echo a similar sentiment as the Prime Minister expressed this morning here.
All right. Amrit Pal, you keep an eye on what's going on there in Antalya as far as now the focus shifting very shortly to the big G20 summit as well.